29 years. We're joined now by the Federal Treasurer, Josh Frydenberg. Treasurer, thanks for joining us. Last night, you were on a call to the International Monetary Fund about the impact of the coronavirus. What did they say?
Well, many countries are feeling that economic impact, Kochi, and they're taking substantial fiscal and monetary policy measures. You've seen central banks around the world reduce their interest rates, just like the bank here has done in Australia. And as the Prime Minister has foreshadowed, we will be announcing a series of measures to support businesses, to keep Australians in jobs, to encourage investment and support the cash flow of many of Australia's employers. That's what we want to do because what we believe in is a strong economy, and what we did see, as you mentioned at the top of this segment, what you did see yesterday with the national accounts is that the Australian economy is approaching this economic shock from a position of economic strength.
And it really is a black swan, what they call a black swan event in financial markets. No one saw this coming. But that IMF briefing last night, how serious are they forecasting this to be for Australia and also the global economy?
Well, for Australia, we are in our 29th consecutive year of economic growth, and we've seen both from the IMF and the OECD talk about the strength of the Australian economy. Indeed, just a couple of days ago, the OECD singled out Australia and Germany as two countries that had that fiscal flexibility to respond to the coronavirus without endangering our debt sustainability. So we do approach this in a much better position than many other countries.
OK, so they're saying it'll cut 0.5% from our economic growth, something like that?
Well, the Reserve Bank said last night in testimony to Senate estimates that they foresaw a direct impact of about 0.5 percentage point in the March quarter.
Okay. And what the IMF is saying, just to translate for people, is, hey, our government debt compared with most other countries is quite small, and also we have been running a balanced budget for the last couple of years. So you, the government, have got the firepower to actually stimulate the economy.
Well, that's absolutely right. Australia has been living within its means with responsible targeted spending. That does mean we can respond as other countries don't have the same ability.
Yeah. So are you going to announce that next week, this stimulus package, and what will it focus on?
Well, we're obviously working through the details of that package, and it'll be announced sooner than later, and it will run into the billions of dollars, so it will be significant. The Deputy Prime Minister announced yesterday that he was speaking to his state and territory counterparts, asking them for suggestions of particular infrastructure projects that could be brought forward and started immediately. But obviously we're also looking at an investment allowance to support businesses, as well as other measures targeted to some of those sectors that have been directly hit.
And you mentioned yesterday that the deeming rates will be adjusted for pensioners to give them more money to go out and splash that cash around as well. When will that come into effect?
Well, as you know, when interest rates go down as they have, that's good news for borrowers, but not such good news for people who deposit their money in the bank. And if you're a borrower, that 25 basis point rate cut the other day could be worth more than $700 a year if you've got a $400,000 loan. But when it comes to depositors, we understand what they're going through. We've said that we'll have another look at the deeming rate, which at the lower level today is at 1%, but obviously the cash rate is at 0.5 percentage point.
Yeah, this is like, for you as a treasurer, this is like almost a defining moment for you, isn't it? This is like the onset of the GFC, and your mark in history, if you like, political history, will be made on how you react on this. Are you feeling the pressure?
Well, Kochi, it's not about me, it's not about the Prime Minister, it's about the Australian people.
Yeah, but you make the decisions.
We absolutely do, and we take that ability very, very seriously. But Australia is well prepared. These external shocks are outside of our control, just like the bushfires and the extended drought have been outside of our control. But all the work that we've done over the last 6.5 years is preparing us for this moment, and that's why we're focused on ensuring that Australia steers through this economic shock, but gets to the other side much stronger and better.
OK. All right, Treasurer, thanks for joining us, no doubt. We'll be catching up regularly over the next couple of weeks with this stimulus package. Here's Sam.